Welcome back, friends. Astrobate, fan of pawn. If you could be some kind of pawn, what kind of pawn would you be? Alright. We're taking challenges 7 plus 3 is the minimum. Rapid challenges. Nothing faster than 7 plus 5. Did I put 7 plus 3? That's correct. 7 plus 5. Alright. I did say 7 plus 3. I'm all confused. Alright, Sumahair is the first challenge for today. Subscriber, supporter of the stream, extraordinaire. Welcome, Arsenal fan. Welcome, friends, countrymen, Romans. Weird Openings Wednesday. Weird. What are we going to do? The Mexican. Good morning, Sire, Arsenal, Astrobate. Who else is here? The A people are well represented. Chigoran theme. You can play various things. The modern not good here. I mean, G6, D5 I think is better for white. Although you can always retreat the knight back to B8. D6. I don't normally play the macho Chigoran, but what the heck. So Sumahair doesn't go with like C4. Played this position with white a lot. I like this position for white. Bishop G4, I saw a game last week when I was preparing for my tournament where someone played that. It feels active, but I don't think Bishop G4 is as good as Bishop F5. This is the best option. Your humble opinion is welcome, even if I don't necessarily agree. I mean, white doesn't have the most aggressive setup, but it's not bad. A3 is not necessary for white. It's quite a passive move. We could play an Albin Gambit style move here with E5, but I mean, white hasn't played C4. I mean, A3 is not a bad move. He's stopping knight before. It's really not a bad move necessarily. It is rather slow. In fact, I saw a game. Wow. This is very similar to this game from the IM tournament. Man, it could even be the same opening. I didn't carefully pay attention to a game from our IM tournament when I was playing last week. But if white played like B4, it could be the same position. And black was a quite decent player. I guess it was like Queen D7. The F6 definitely deserves consideration. When he played an early B4, yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's basically a Jabava reversed. White has an extra tempo. I mean, versus those lines. Castling into it. Possible to just go H5 here. Yeah, B4 happened in the game. I thought white's position was a little weird, but I have seen this with reverse colors. I've attempted to play like that myself. b5 for white, if that makes sense. Is h5 justified, or just what should we do here? This is an interesting question now. Yeah, nobody said I have to castle queenside, by the way. It's a little early in the morning to go psycho. I'm just gonna play it solid. You could easily play h5 there. I don't know, like h5, c4, then what do I do? Rook e1. That move I don't like for white necessarily. The stone wall. If you're gonna play rook e1, you know, I mean, I'm just like, whatever, dude. That's fine. Then your rook is destined for great things. I'm not sure that f5 is the best move, necessarily. Welcome, everybody. We're just having some fun with Chigorin. Fun with Chigorin. It's the French defense. What is that? He's trying to support c4. He's sporting c4. Queen b5. I'm keeping him guessing as to where I'm going to castle. Hey, all my pawns are on the right color. I don't have a bad piece. Oh, now he plays c4. Right, that was the plan. You want to give up the center, anybody? Mm-hmm. What do you do if you're asked or bait? Allow c5. I don't want to castle on the queen side. It's a little risky, but, you know, I didn't expect him to take. I thought he would push to c5. Of course, there's options. The moves just keep flowing. Go with the flow. You know, Arsenal fan, I mean, there's no antsy answers. There's no easy answers to these kind of questions that you're talking about. It's not about I'm and I am. I mean, I'm choosing a random path a lot of times. Like, I don't know if it's better to allow c5 or take on c4. They're both involving concessions. There's no way you can know. I mean, I think it's also a matter of style. Like, which position do you feel more comfortable with? Which type of position do you feel more comfortable with, you know, as a player? I mean, I can almost predict his moves. It's ridiculous how fast he is, always. Is he afraid of time pressure? Afraid of being in time pressure? That's why he plays fast? See, this is like the exact variation I expected when I went into this whole thing. I already calculated this like 2 minutes ago. But he's a minute ahead of me on the clock. How does that work, you know? Now I'm seeing a variation I don't feel happy about. What about development? I wonder what his average move time is, like 3 seconds per move. See, Sumer, he conserves time by not calculating, but what is interesting is that he makes good practical use of his time by doing that. How does he ever get into positions where he doesn't need to calculate, like for defensive purposes? I guess he's just lucky that I'm not playing for combinations that much. I guess players who are far more tactically oriented do better against him. Then again, it depends on what kind of position he plays. This is a very closed game. He's safe here from tactics, more or less. The only tactic is like knight takes d5 in this entire position. Speaking of which, with b4 I have to go back to c6, which I didn't really want to do. So that's the problem with my move. That's why I wanted to play c6. But c6 allowed something I didn't like. Knight e5 and then b4. He covers c4 and then plays b4. So here he has now b4, knight c4, knight takes d5, winning a pawn. But if you don't calculate, well, he must calculate like 2 moves deep sometimes. Strange, yeah, he used a lot of time here. He must be calculating that 2-move combination. That's like the most time he's ever used on a move in the history of chess, I think. He was calculating knight takes d5, you know, knight c4, knight d5, knight d5, queen takes c4. So I didn't put my knight on a5 to just like bring it back to c6, but it is what it is. Did I have f4? When? f4? Instead of rook a, e8? I just don't really see with my knight on a5 how I can do something like that. I have issues. I mean, I'm trying to like consolidate my shit here. I'm not sure that I can launch into some big attack with my knight on a5. Intuitively, the answer would be no, you know, for me. No, but he's got the initiative on the queen side. f4 is an idea. f4 is the right idea, I mean, of course. But one of the main ideas to attack with, f4, of course, it's a stone wall. Rook b1, creeping moves. You know, now you have to start to think. I'm very dyslexic this morning. Start to think about f4 ideas. Doesn't particularly threaten anything necessarily, but start to thart. It's a starting place. I mean, he could just take the pawn too. Then I have queen g4. Arsenal leading me down the garden path. King h8. b4 is happening. What do I do about this b4 thing? I mean, b4, b5. Taking, and then he's on my bishop. I see, I play in a very prophylactic way usually, so I'm anticipating my opponent's moves and then trying to prevent them or de-arm it, but b5 hitting my like bishop. I could play b5 myself. That's really radical. Radical. It's radical, dude. Looks very extreme. Yeah, I'm completely unsure what to do. This is... probably not a great move, but frustrating for my opponent to deal with. What I don't like is him playing b5, taking and then taking out my bishop on d6. Now he hung the game. Nope. Still doesn't necessarily work. Knight takes, queen d3. He's just lucky or good. But now your f4 starts to look really juicy. Juicy. If I take the pawn, he plays queen d3, and he's like winning it back. Yeah, I don't know. I should have probably thought longer on that move. Now your primitive attacking plans are looking tastier and tastier. There is no way to put him away here. Wow. Telling you, I screwed this up. Not that simple at all. Wow, he's on h7. Oh my god. What? Well, no. No. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Arsenal put this f4 idea in my mind, but it still wasn't convincing. When I finally played f4, I should have just taken the pawn. Alright, just take the pawn. f4 was the second best move. Then I immediately screwed it up. I had f3 check. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Wow. Didn't even see it. Knight takes b4? Say what? Wow, f3 check with the idea of queen h3. Holy gosh. Holy gosh! That is such a crushing move, my god. Didn't even enter my mind. I played this stupid move. I was always in control. Queen g6 was good. Alright. We migrated over to the king's side. Oh no. Arsenal fan is next. Arsenal fan, did you want to play? Are you just in there for fun? Did you want to wait? Dinakis, Tazake. No, I'll wait, he said. Are you serious? He's like, please, yeah. Alright, get back in the queue. We'll wait. I don't understand. How did MK Poke, like, get to the front of the list? Where did that challenge come from? I give up, man. You can play next if you want. Let me know. Who else are subscribers? Tezik? No. I don't know, Dinakis is next on the list, but no one else is a subscriber. You just tell me when you want to play Arsenal. Alright, I have this new idea. Everybody plays Knight of 3, it's so weird. It's the Caro kind. Alright, it's stupid. The Caro kind. He's just totally ready for it. He's like plays this every day. No hesitation whatsoever. I had the exact same game yesterday with some anonymous player. Now they did not play c4. You tried to sub Tezik, but your check bounced? Uh-oh. Can I just hide? What happened? You just subscribed with Prime. You're in Germany? Tezik, you're in Turkey. They have Amazon Prime in Turkey? Yeah, Prime subscription counts. It counts. I don't even know if we have Amazon Prime here in Hungary. I don't even know, honestly. Do people have Amazon Prime in Hungary? I have an American Amazon account, so I don't even really know anything. Like, a lot of countries don't have Amazon Prime, probably. I don't know if it's even worth it to have Amazon Prime. I feel kind of weird about paying for that, by the way. You used to have, like, Amazon Prime Day, and it seems like it's gotten more and more watered down to the point where it's not even clear, like, if it's really even worth being an Amazon Prime member. Like, what do you actually get for your Amazon Prime subscription? You get to watch some crappy shows that aren't that good anymore. I guess I'm supposed to take this unprovoked. You guys are talking about football. Not American football. Yeah. Wow. He's a powerhouse. Look how strong he is. G5. Bishop G4. H5. G6, knight C3, bishop G7. He could play bishop G4. I miss Pizza Hut. We have it here, but it's not as good as it used to be. Right. Classic 80s era Pizza Hut was the best. Man, I don't know. Dinakis is like getting younger. Getting younger and getting stronger every day. I wish I was getting younger. But it's like Sumihara, you're even worse than Sumihara. At least Sumihara used some of his time. Nothing is as good as homemade pizza. Guess that depends on like who's making the homemade pizza. Arsenal fan. Gorbachev finally died, which explains my positive mood. It's kind of grim. Poor Gorbachev. No love for Gorbachev. Why does like Gorbachev dying put you in a positive mood? Seriously. That's weird, man. Oh, Gorbachev died, yes. What does that mean? You have like negative feelings toward Gorbachev? What? For us? Because I thought you're like Turkish. Since when is Gorbachev like Turkish? Yeah, I don't understand either. That's beyond my that's beyond my level, man. My geopolitical level. Beyond my geopolitical pay grade. Dude, I went to Russia in 1990 on a student exchange program. Obviously, that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Gorbachev. I mean, you know, it's a tragedy what we're seeing today. Everything he did has been like, or, you know, has been erased, basically. I never thought I'd see the day where, like, you know, there's another Cold War. It's such a pity after all that. Hold on just a second. White is overextended? That happened fast. You know, I think the thing about Gorbachev was that he was like a human being. He was kind of a humanitarian. Most politicians have no clue. But he wasn't really a politician. He was like a leader. I don't know, not a politician by today's standards. What are we doing here? Dinekis needs to stop playing bullet chess, man. I mean, I don't know what you're doing in your free time, but it's like you're just playing 1 minute chess. Okay, it's early in the morning. The Caro Kine. Were there any games here? C4 looks like a good move, actually. What I was surprised by was like when I looked at this in the opening explorer, like there's not a single game in the master database with knight f6. It's really funny. You know, you either play the Caro-Kann or you play the Alekhine, but you don't play both. But then we like slowly will transpose to something. I was looking at this last night. As I said, I had a game against an anonymous opponent. Same thing, but they didn't play c4. My opponent played bishop c4, which is interesting as well. And then I found a bunch of like transpositions to Alekhine defense. But c4, and again we transpose to a c6 variation. We'll have to ask Alexander Baburin. It looks like he's got a bunch of games here. This is kind of a scary way to play chess, huh? I would think white could just like take on d6. Wow, d takes e5 dubious. So white is much better here, according to the computer. You have queen b3. So it looks like my bishop g4 is a mistake. I shouldn't give that up in this position. But I don't really like, okay, I get it. d5, knight e5, knight d7 maybe? Is that the point? We just like challenge it? Qasim Janab Miles, Sultan Varga. Who's that? f4 for white. Oh, that is kind of disturbing. Anyway, it's all in fun. Weird Openings Wednesday. Alright, Arsenal fan. Look at that. 4 inaccuracies. Alright. Geopolitical stream. GeoGuessr. Geopolitical guesser. What am I gonna... I don't watch MMA. Whatever you say, Asterbait. Like some old-fashioned boxing, maybe. Too old school for that crap, man. e4. Alright. Well, it's better, yeah, MMA is okay, I guess. Just not the UFC or whatever. e4. e5. Classical opening. What are we going to play against Arsenal, man? Move 11 said he had a dream where I played the Fred against him and lost in 10 moves. He lost in 10 moves. It's pretty funny. My head is on fire. Extremely strong sun here directly above me. Gotta focus on chess, Asterbait. Focus on the chess. What are we gonna do? Modern. Played a proper modern in a while. Does Arsenal have like a setup he plays against the modern? Or does he just like make it up as he goes along? H3. Wow, that's really early. Extreme H3. Preparing for a delayed grob. Grob delayed. Let's see what he's intending here. H3 with the idea of knight F3. He's playing like Schieber-Spieler or something. Alright. Just, yeah, this is the solid Arsenal fan. I've had some problems with my window. There's a little too much sun coming in. The shade is broken, I had to modify it. There's not supposed to be this much sunlight, but it's better than it was. So this is like classical Peert's defense now, if knight c3. Or you can play like Schieber-Spieler and do bishop d3. Castles, bishop e3. Remember once I lost to Igor Foigl. I'll never forget that game because he maneuvered his queen like to b1 and a2. I was like, oh shit. This guy knows what he's doing. Anyone who maneuvers queen b1, queen a2, you know you're in trouble. That's some serious shit right there. Like, just average chess players don't come up with something like that. It's a bad idea to play the Peert's defense against like an expert on the Peert's defense. Probably. Now bishop f4 is a playable move, but it doesn't look necessarily particularly relevant. Seen a lot of that lately. Arsenal is playing the London. It's a London Peert's hybrid. I always feel like you're gonna get hit by e5 at some point. Of course, it's easier said than done. I could play like knight c6, d5, e5. d5, e5. Bishop e3. You're no fan of Arsenal. The team. Tezek, Brook Warrior, and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Guys, 2-hour stream today. Tomorrow night is our back to analysis stream. First analysis stream for like 3 weeks since I was playing. I've got like 3 or 4 games submitted. Tezek? No. Not you. Sumaher. Did you submit a game? Probably you did. I'll put you on the list. For tomorrow night. Be the first to gift a sub. No gift subs. Astrobate, your credit card is declined. No gift subs this week? Seriously? Uber driver with 1 bit donation? Come on, guys. We gotta We gotta live. Tazake. How do you guys feel about Dr. Oz? How do Turkish people feel about Dr. Oz? Do they even care? Do they know who Dr. Oz is? Domestic American politics. Not interesting. Speaking of Dr. Oz, WJ Loof is here. You know Dr. Oz? Are you serious? You actually know him? What is his real name? I mean, he can't be Dr. Oz. It must be like Ozturk or something, right? He just like changed his name to sound fun. That can't be his full name, right? His full name is really Oz, just Oz. I figured he had like shortened it or something. He's gonna get smoked. Knight takes d4, queen takes d4, e5. Wait, am I losing a pawn if I do that? Turkish guy's name. Knight e5, queen d4, e5. You guys can sort it out. I say people's names. If it's your name on lichess, it's your name. What am I supposed to do? Make up like other names for people? The guy was your friend's roommate at Penn State? Dude, what a crazy world. What's the chances of that, WJ Loof? But it's nice that, like, you know, the far right will get their comeuppance in Pennsylvania. So even the governor candidate is way behind in early polling. All right. Anyway, I'm an international resident, so Pennsylvania politics doesn't really matter a lot here. Just thought I'd mention Dr. Oz for some reason. Because I was thinking about it, you know, I didn't realize that was Dr. Oz. I didn't realize that was an actual name. I figured it was shortened. You know, a lot of like people on TV probably like shortened their names and stuff. It's easier to remember that way. What am I supposed to play? Knight takes d4, queen takes d4. Let's do it. Hello, I am Pascal. Rant. Sorry for my aunt. Oh no, it's all good. No ranting today. Nothing I would say today was a rant. Wow, this is a wild position. This is pretty funny. Give me the piece back and come out with your hands up. Pawn takes. What about knight d7? You have knight f7. Bishop takes d4. Knight takes d8. Knight f7. Bishop takes d4. Oh man. Wait. Does that really work? I'm gonna lose on time? Arsenal's always quick. Everybody's here. Everybody here is quick. Who takes their time besides like me and Jeroen? Does anyone else in the entire stream get in time pressure ever? Besides me? Like one other player? Knight f7, rook f7. I'm winning a piece? Why am I not winning a piece here? Doesn't work. What about other moves? You're up a piece, right? I believe it. Bishop takes, check, takes, check. Yeah, well, it's still like not that easy. I'm down a pawn, right? To start with. So why is this even good? It's not. I mean, Arsenal could just play like any move here and be up a pawn. It's like I'm on drugs or something. This is just too much, dude. I'm just being too weird in this game. Okay, I have a bishop on the long diagonal. Like, is that worth a pawn? Not really, you know. Yes, my bishop might be a pretty good piece in long diagonal, but the guy's not castling queenside necessarily, and I'm just down a pawn. I think he had knight f7. I mean, swindles are always welcome. The fact is, I'm just down a pawn here. I'm not down a pawn. Wow. So he had to play knight f7. I lied. I thought I was down a pawn. Well, I'm down a pawn if he plays knight takes f7, right? That's what I'm talking about. See, I even tricked like Shaki into believing that I was down a pawn. Arsenal like didn't do the fancy combination because I had convinced him that he was up a pawn already. There was something that Bizgeyer said about this, you know. Never let your opponent know that they have winning position and you're okay. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but Arthur said something to that effect, like the important thing was that just don't let the opponent know they have winning position. That's the secret. I guess you got to get a lot of lost positions to look at things like that. You got to be used to getting lost positions. Don't ask me what the hell was going on in this game. I've done stuff like this before. Trying to make, you know, stuff work that's not even there. Mate. Mate. Double mate. I'm not better here, am I? You have more space. Arsenal's so quick, you know. I never feel comfortable. You know, the problem is he like doesn't give me any time to think. I never have any time to think or calculate. But the real question is like, how bullshit is my opening? Seriously. This just can't work, dude. This was played before, wow. But these are not particularly like high rated players. Some random 2200. Dan Rat. They played bishop to c5. Look, that's a strong piece, that bishop. Wow, this is actually sound. It's actually sound. Wow. I thought it was unsound, man. I thought this was just bullshit. Wow. Knight takes c5, I have to take back. Yeah, I guess it was bullshit. But this one game was like bishop takes e5. I mean, if you're going to give me the dark square bishop, I have compensation automatically. I mean, that's for sure. Arsenal's move, you know, is totally logical. Take with the knight. So here I screwed up. Knight d7 doesn't work. I have knight h5. I didn't screw up. Wow, it's actually playable. D takes c5 is better though. Yeah, I have knight to c4 at the end, right? Like a King's Indian. I saw this, but I thought it would like really, really peter out to nothingness. Like, I'm just like getting my pawn back at best. I actually was concerned about something else. Like you taking here. I thought you would take here and then like take on e5. And my c7 pawn was hanging. There's a Smirin game from 2015. Wow. Theory. Belyakov is a Belarusian, I think. Maybe Ukrainian. I think he's Belarusian. Not a bad player. Had a weird flashback. I mean, if Smirin played it, it must be okay. He actually won this position. Nice dark square bishop you got there. Wow. White was very materialistic. It looks like this is a terrible move. F3. White like lost the game with that move. Anyway, it's interesting. It was playable. But does knight d7 even work? So it really works? I was afraid of knight f7. Am I crazy? This is like the last line I looked at. Bishop takes d4, knight takes here, rook takes f4, and I was like, okay, my head hurts. I don't know what's going on. Whatever. But I like wasn't sure if I could trap your knight on d8. You know, I mean, I couldn't make heads or tails of this. I wasn't sure, but it's a blitz game. Like, for example, okay, check. That's the end of my analysis. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you have 96 as well, but I have bishop takes f2 check. I didn't see this works. Wow. Take and take here. So 96 doesn't work at all. You have to play bishop c4 check. Now I have to play king h8. What happens if, like, knight f7, your knight is weird? Fascinating variations. Anyway, too much for me to calculate in a fast game, especially against Arsenal, who doesn't use time. So 95, knight d7, queen d2, and I thought you're up a pawn, but you're not. So it's like slightly better for white. I'm supposed to take with the pawn, maybe? Let's see. Would it be better to take with the pawn? The computer says it's better to take with the pawn. I get that. It's not very romantic. Alright. Let's go on. Next game. Pokey's not a subscriber. Who's a subscriber? Shaki. Shaki is a subscriber. I was talking too much about Dr. Oz during that game in the early stage. So I waste a lot of time. Just talking trash. Shaki plays crazy openings, right? But I'm not going to do the Fajarowitz today. Let's do e4. Shaka, where's Zen Chess? I haven't seen Zen Chess in a while. Jess Zebra. Would you be able to play Rook Warrior? He's there. On the list, I remember. I don't know why, but like this week, they suddenly started renovating all the apartments in my building randomly. I don't know what the deal is. There was a lot of construction noise in the background. I hope it's not putting off anyone. Every few months they... Where is Shaki? He's not here? They like to mess up my streams. It depends on what they're doing. I wish they would just get it over with, though. It's been going on for like 2 years. They'll just disappear for like 3 months, and then come in and like do maybe like renovations for like a couple days, then disappear for another 2 months. Just like get it over with. Don't torture me for like 3 years. If you're gonna renovate the apartment, then renovate it, get it done, and just do it. You know, like why does it have to be dragged out my entire lifetime? Alright, Tzazik, Rook Warrior, Repunj, Pokey. Shaki's like, I don't understand. He's not here. Alright, he went away. Tzazik is a subscriber. And then Rook Warrior as a favorite to Arsenal. Repunj also will get to play. And Pokey will be last. Doesn't have a sponsor. Club membership. Club Med. I don't play like knight c6 in the Vienna, so e5 doesn't make sense here. Knight f6 is a move. That we transpose to Nimzbich defense after d4. Bishop c4 is funny. I think I had a game like that against someone on Sound. I don't know if that's good or not. f4 is extreme. Extreme. I'm in a good mood, Repunch. I'm not going to time you out. Does this... Is that a thing? Seriously, do people use that? I'm just wondering. WTFC? Alright. Now we have the critical moment. d4 or knight e4. If knight e4, my pawn gets very lonely on e4. Well, yeah. It's not starting with what? It's who. No, I changed it. It's not a thing. It's supposed to be who. And the last letter is cares. It's not a thing. Okay, knight e4, knight e4, pawn e4, and then we have control of the d4 square. Let's do it. This is weird. I'm waiting for the news that FIDE is introducing bullet ratings. Alright. That'll be the next thing. The FIDE Bullet Arena. Bullet Arena. FIDE Bullet Arena Master. Let me get my checkbook out and pay for my title. Yeah, looks like knight f3 is just a good move, huh? Nice and solid. You're not gonna bite. Yeah, that's the one thing that's saving us. Bullet, like over the board bullet is a logistical nightmare. Or we'd have like bullet, like over the board tournaments. Then I'm really retiring from chess. But Repunj has been removed from the challenge list for talking about Hikaru and his blitz rating. I'm just kidding. Nice solid opening here by Tezik. He really consolidated that space. I'm playing like Lev Gutman. FIDE is still trying to find a sponsor, probably. They're desperately trying to find a sponsor. Hey, there's always cheese.com. Well, we can really start gossiping about stuff now. I'm just joking. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about chess lately. I'm sure we can find a, Russian oligarch to sponsor it. Nope, that would be a little bit bad. Maybe they can hold a match in like Belgrade or something. Seriously, where is the World Championship supposed to be? Scrunchie manufacturers. That's cool, man. The Pomniachi thinks he's like a football player. I saw this guy with a really weird hairstyle yesterday. I've never seen anything like that. I'm getting really old-fashioned. Arsenal sounds like a grandpa. Your long hair. What's with all these kids today? With long hair. Alright. Scrunchy Bunchy. Well, he has a huge space advantage here. Gotta admit. I gotta admit that's pretty serious. Wow, welcome to the diagonal, huh? I'm gonna play like e6. Do a fashion investigation. It's an offense to masculinity. It's woke. I just woke up. You should move to Florida, Arsenal fan. You'd like it there. We're real men. Run the governor's office. And they stop the woke agenda. Shit, man. Seriously. I spend too much time like watching American politics in the news. Dude, the English tourists that come here for the little like bachelor parties do that all the time. You guys invented that. English bachelor party guys. They're always wearing like wedding dresses and stuff. So, you got an earthquake in Turkey? Must have been because Gorbachev died. It was like the earth swallowing up his body. You gotta be careful, Arsenal. The price of COD has gone through the roof. I mean, masturbate. You guys are always on at the same time. You had an earthquake just now. Didn't feel it out here. I hope it's not a serious one. I gotta leave around 1, so we've got 50 minutes. I like the way that Tezek played this. It's very strong. Why is my king on f8? Maybe I should have just taken with the rook. And kept the chance to castle queenside alive. I think that's grounds for divorce, Arsenal fan. Speaking of the missus. Now my king is trapped with no way home. Pretty bad situation. I definitely should not have done that. Left my king hanging out there on f8. Big mistake. Gigantosaurus. Dude, Arsenal, I hope you bury the whole East Coast. It'll make my previous real estate decisions look better. They said that, what is it, the oceans are going to 75 centimeters because of Greenland. I'm like, man, it's fine. Wipe out the whole, like, a few feet or so the American East Coast. No problem. That's what you guys hear in the background. Arsenal's stomach grumbling. So when all the Greenland melts, how much is that ultimately going to raise, like, sea levels? How long is that going to take? How's the price of fish and chips where you are, Arsenal? All the fish and chip shops are going out of business. Oh no, here we go again. It'll be like Waterworld. So, you're skipping your weekly fish and chips to save money? I think we're going to have to seriously consider relocating my king. I saw this article today that was talking about how probably we should start like microwaving food because it's like more economical. Really start mastering the microwave. This is a great game by Tezek, by the way. Knight d2. He's turning into strategic god. Great game by White. Mastering microwave cooking. Can you imagine microwaving lamb? That's brutal. I knew the king f8 was a bad idea. It was such a stupid plan. Now he brings his king around over here and I checkmate him with b5. So the final position is like, what? Is Korchnoi better now? Yeah. I was better, apparently, but not now. I was a great opening by White. He reached like plus 1.3. Yeah, King F8 is a disaster for me. There's no way I should let that happen. What else am I supposed to do now, though? Like King D7? I mean, F6? Seriously, what am I supposed to play in this position to get out of this? Queen D7 castles queenside into the B file? Yeah. No, it's doing like Queen D7. It's doing Bishop F8 anyway. I have nothing better than that. Like, White's just better. Random comment generator. Spin the wheel of random comments. We should make a wheel, and we're going to put, like, Hikaru's bullet rating, titled Tuesday. What else can we put on there? And we'll just spin the wheel when Rupun, like, logs on and see what we can chat about. What happened to Rookman? He's like the Indian Hans Niemann or something. He played 200 games last month. He played in 7 tournaments in like 2 weeks. Alright. No, see, the first thing that happens is like people get the IM title. You can't get the IM title without crossing 2400, which means, by definition, now this is tricky. Like check this out. So you can't get the IM title without crossing 2400, right? Now here's the funny part. We need Mr. Coffee to like verify this. But you can get the IM title without having a 2400 rating on a published list. Now my question is, does your K factor, like, so can you be an IM without your K factor going from 20 to 40 or from 40 to 20? So what I'm saying is, you have to get 2400 rating, man, to cross 2400 to be an IM, okay? But it doesn't have to be on a published list, so it can be like in the middle of a tournament or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is, when you reach 2400, your K factor automatically is lowered down to 10, okay? The problem is, like, what if there's IMs running around whose official rating never crossed 2400 on a list? So they're IMs, but they still have like a 20K factor. Like, that's bullshit. By definition, you should automatically, like, you should have to have a 10K factor. If you've officially crossed 2400, you're an IM. You can't be running around with like a 20K factor. You know, how's somebody running around with like a 2600 rating as an IM and doesn't have 2 GM norms or something? It sounds to me like they probably have some bullshit like 20K factor. Because it's extremely hard to gain a lot of rating points with a 10K factor. Unless you do the Hans Niemann, where you play like 200 games in 1 year. Yeah. How could you be rated 2587 and not have GM norms? Like, by definition, you're making a GM norm every time you play, practically. You're 13 points short of a GM norm overall. He only plays in like non-norm tournaments. He only plays in 6-round tournaments or something. Alright. We've got the hero, Shaki. Absolutely. What do most people care about? Title regulations and... I don't know, Repunch comes and brings this random stuff up. It's interesting to me, because I like to rant about master level bullshit, but most people don't give the proverbial rat's ass about that. Yeah, well, you know, people who don't have as much sponsorship as others. So we're going to try the Saruman attack here. In honor of Yasser. Something different. Saruman system. It helps if your parents are like millionaires, or you have millionaire sponsors. But I mean, that's not a reflection of talent or greatness. No, I don't think that Praggnanandhaa should be envious. He's had a lot of opportunities, and you don't have to play 200 games a year in every tournament across the world to improve. So what is this? I mean, classically speaking, like, top players considered it bad to play too much. Only a very young player could get away with that. You know, if you're like over 30, your stamina would probably like run out. You know, I mean, Hans can do that now, but he's not going to be able to do that in 10 years. You know, you definitely have to be under 30 or in some kind of like professional athlete type of condition to perform well and play like 200 games a year. It's not something you could maintain for a long time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't normally play this stuff. I'm going to just transpose to a Queen's Indian. Or Nimzo. Yeah, but what's impressive is if you don't... It's impressive if you don't play a tournament in like 2 years. They must have improved massively by playing just online. But it's still not the same. I mean, you're not playing long games. I don't think it's necessarily that good for you. But the talent just comes through eventually. But I do think that playing a lot has always been good for me, personally. Playing more is definitely better than not playing enough. But I'm not sure that like playing online necessarily translates to good over-the-board results. Only if you're very young. But those guys were gonna improve anyway. It was just a matter of time until Gukash is 2700. He's obviously that strong. I don't know where to put my bishop. I mean, bishop e2 seems too passive. But this involves knight e4 sometimes later. Yeah, but I mean, you know, are these guys like getting coaching with like Vladimir Kramnik or something? I mean, is it just coming out of nowhere? We don't talk about that, right? Like they have private lessons with Kramnik on a regular basis, or, you know, they're not like Hans Niemann, who claims that he doesn't have any coach, right? He's doing it all on his own because he doesn't have any friends and everyone hates him. Doesn't Kramnik like coach these young Indian players? I mean, you're not talking about that, right? Like, they're getting a lot of coaching. It's not just like, you know, only sheer talent. Kramnik doesn't even play anymore. Oh, just Anand and Gelfand, nothing special. Well, I thought that Kramnik was involved coaching Indian players. I'm sure that he was coaching Mendonca and some others. Where do I go? I mean, Anand and Gelfand still play, but Kramnik doesn't play, so what else would he do with his time, you know? Other than coaching juniors. I don't really see, you know, why Anand would need to really make more money. He's probably very wealthy. I don't see why he needs to not waste his time, but I mean, you know, it's a lot of effort to like coach players and stuff. He's not going to do that for nothing. But he also doesn't need money, you know. It seems like Anand probably has more money than almost any other chess players, except for like Kasparov and Hikaru and Magnus. Anand is probably like the 4th richest chess player in the world or something. I mean, it's kind of weird because like a lot of times Anand didn't even play for the Indian Olympic team, you know. So now he's like a huge supporter. I guess it's political. Like here, the Hungarian players, the best players, don't even play for our Olympic team because they don't get paid enough. I mean, why would they? Why would they bother? No, not politics, like chess politics, man. Like you either get along with the people who are in charge of the chess federation or you don't, you know. It seems like Anand sometimes refused to play for the Indian team. I mean, he was living in Spain. He wasn't close connected. You know, the guy was living in Spain like most of his life. So something's changed, you know. We're not talking about like normal politics. I mean, who's in charge of a chess federation is gonna like. Who's in charge of the Indian Chess Federation? Who's involved in Indian chess? Anand is suddenly like very involved, whereas he used to just like live in Spain and play chess in Europe and stuff. I mean, something happened there. Time is money, friend. Did he move back to India? Probably. At some point. Or he's always been back and forth. I don't know. Look at this position. We have huge space advantage on the king side. King Sidian. Anand was always very active compared to other players. He would probably play more than the average. He's also collected the most money by like just showing up and playing Magnus Carlsen and then going home. I loved his matches against Carlsen. Real exciting. Anand just gets like millions of dollars for showing up and losing. My favorite World Championship matches. Very inspiring. He really showed the world a tremendous fight against Magnus. It's kind of like, why even bother if you're going to get paid anyway? It wasn't worth it. I'll just take the easy money. It's like a boxing match where you're getting like $1 million for losing. Why even like get yourself beat up? Just get the money and go home. F4. Yeah, I don't want to see any queen exchange here. No, honestly, like, I lost a lot of respect for Anand. He, like, didn't even try against Magnus. He's just going through the motions. Bishop A6 is the idea. We've got a strong attack now. Rook G3, Queen takes H6. Then another rook. But watch this discovery. What's up, Mr. Coffee? Good to see you. Overwhelming space advantage. Now, can we finish him here? Rook takes G7. He can't defend H6. It's interesting, there's no way to like laterally defend the H6. There's like D3 check, King H1. So Rook G7, Rook check, King H8. This has to work. I could just play Rook H3 right away. Is there some way he like defends himself there? I don't really see it. I mean, Rook H3. Rook H8 is mate. Rook G8 is mate. He can't defend the pawn in any way. If only he had like B5 and he could use the rook to defend laterally over there, you know. There's no way you can defend this. Good afternoon, sire. We're gonna play like one more game probably. Pro moment. Is anyone in the list a subscriber? Yeah, I mean, it was too much space. I mean, maybe Black could have taken some proactive measures to defend themselves on the king side earlier. I wonder if, like, objectively black is, like, lost in this position after move 14. Maybe he can play f5 somehow. It's plus 1.6. I just can't imagine how black can defend themselves. You know? Really tough. Honestly, I don't really like h6 for black. I feel like that's a mistake. Yeah, something like bishop c8. I mean, speaking of defensive, but I don't think he should play h6. I was not sure about, you know, bishop e7. Bishop e7 has to be the best. You see here some people played bishop d6. I mean, yeah, maybe bishop d6 too. But h6 seems like not really doing much. You know, I think he's hoping for this. Like he could do like here, and knight h5 and go after my bishop and take it out, maybe. I'm not sure if that's good, but I felt like that was probably his plan. Bishop e4. Play it like a Nimzo. Yeah, it's conceivable. But I feel like this is very safe. You know, if I ever try to go in here, you play like g6 or whatever. Just because Pavel Blatny played it 3 times doesn't mean it's bad. Although there is a strong chance. Wait, I don't understand. I didn't play Ripunj Bansal. Is he a subscriber? Yeah, he is. Huge fan. Well, this is going to be the last game for today, guys. I got to go. I'm going to turn off my alarm. Friday I can stream longer. Another half an hour or so. The huge fan. Yeah, I mean, you played h6, but you could play a different setup after that. But I still don't see what h6... How does h6 benefit black, you know, in general? It weakens your king side. It makes g6 harder to play later, or f6. You just become, like, less flexible in your ability to move pawns later on. And I don't think it's really beneficial. Unless you can play g5 and trap my bishop. You know, that's like a legitimate plan. No, I think that to go h6, g5, and knight h5 would be reasonable. That's why I played bishop f4. But I mean, I still don't necessarily love bishop e4. I mean, it is your good bishop. You don't really want to just like trade it off on c3 for nothing. I used to play knight e4, but I don't think it's the best for black. It feels like it justifies the Trompowsky. Justification of Trompowsky. Trompowskyification. I'm busting out the old Julian Hodgson. I never played the Trompowsky, but I played against it. It's really out of popularity. I mean, no one... Really very uncommon to see Trompowsky. I was really surprised last week when one of the players in our tournament, Nguyen, played it. It was a surprise, but there's a bunch of Vietnamese players. They used to play the Trompowsky a lot, so I guess he had picked it up somewhere along the line as a sort of surprise opening. He got a winning position. Man, I mean, the guy had, like... It was funny. He finished really well in this tournament. He was undefeated. This Vietnamese Grandmaster, who's a former teammate of mine. But the funny thing was he must have had, like, 3 games where he was winning. and drew, and he still had a good result. I mean, that's pretty brutal. He still was like +1, like 5 points out of 9, and he literally, I think he like drew 3 winning positions or something. The guy easily could have had like 6.5, 7 points if he had just like won the winning positions instead of drawing. Not against me, but against other people. So what is this H6 E6? Weird. So I guess F3 is not a good move. Mr. Coffee, what is up, man? Was I mistaken to play Bishop C1? Probably. Maybe I should have played Bishop F4. I just have this hatred of the London system, I guess. Now what do I do? I honestly don't know what to do. E6. You can always play pawn takes pawn. It is pretty lame. I feel like Beavis and Butthead right about now. Okay. And now I'm going to do the lecture where I'm like, your score against me is like less than 10%. Why do you have to play like a maniac every game? Why would anyone play Queen F6 there instead of just like normally recapturing on E6? I don't understand why you would choose to do that. Instead of making a good move, you make a crazy move instead. Like, you have a perfectly good move, instead you play like insane move. Why? Don't understand. Like, your computer recommended it, or... It's just kind of weird. Was that the engine move? Feels computery. Queen F6. I mean, nobody has this position ever in their life. It's not like, well, yeah, that's a move I'm accustomed to playing. I mean, it's a totally random position. No one's ever seen this position in their life. And you just, like, flick out Queen F6 like it's totally a standard move. Maybe I should think about attacking the center with C4. Again, it's like, it's inconceivable that my opponent is like 9 and 110 against me and plays like this. It just doesn't really make sense. How did he find that move? Yeah, I'm just like reduced to making the first move I can find. You told lichess. If you talk to lichess, say hi for me, Asterbate. Pretty hard to talk to lichess though, considering they like don't answer if you like complain about something. It must have been a one-way conversation. I screwed up. I should have played bishop takes c6, right? Yeah, I mean, it's like Black's a computer. Plays like a computer. Honestly. Too fast, too strong. That's what it feels like to me. You're using a computer. Playing against an engine. Maybe just for the opening stage you use it, or how does it work? Just to get a good position. Then you play on your own. Once you've got a really good position, you go start playing on your own. Arsenal on top? This is exactly how I would expect a game with like Stockfish to go. Black just has a huge advantage. Tactically justified. Rook e6? Really? Bishop takes and you just pin me? With what? Queen d7? How does this work? Long range sacrifice, bishop takes, rook d6, bishop takes s7, rook takes d2. That's too deep for me, man. I can't even calculate that far. Like, are you telling me like you saw that? I mean, is that his plan? Bishop takes d5. Rook d6, bishop takes s7, rook takes d2. I mean, that's just bizarre, dude. He planned that out in advance, using no time on the clock. I mean, it might work, right? He has compensation. What else can he do? He sacked in exchange? Oh, okay. This is the plan? Bishop takes c3 check, of course. Oh. Right. That's totally believable. It's like a computer, man. I mean, I don't understand what we're doing here. It seems like he integrates computer moves. It's just, it doesn't add up, dude. You're using the engine sometimes. Now I have to fight for a draw. If I'm lucky. And he has 4 minutes more than me. Why am I even doing this, honestly? This whole game is so sus, dude. Honestly. It's extremely weird. I just don't want to play people that are suspicious. Dude, your game is just too weird. Use no time for the whole game and you play like a computer. And you're 9 and 100 against me or something. I don't know how to explain it. You like stylistically play like a computer. Dude, it's so suspicious, it's like ridiculous. I am not going to play you anymore. Alright. Alan Chessboy. Yeah, you just feel it. I know this is not a human being playing all these moves. It's too fast. It doesn't make sense with their score, like, long range. You just know. It's, like, fearless. They're playing with the game, like, using some computer moves, using some human moves, trying to look real, but it's not 100%. I mean, check out that move. The crazy move. Rook e6. h5, rook e6. Is this just a lucky move that you have, like, bishop takes e3 check? Now you play the second best move. Because rook on ed6 was too unbelievable, right? You didn't want to do that. That would be too suspicious. So instead you did the second best move with rook takes d5. And now white can, like, grovel his way to a computer. There's no way this is a human game, dude. I mean, you're definitely using an engine to at least play some of the moves. It's just too weird. I just have a feeling, you know. I'm sorry, dude. It's just too weird. I gotta go, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night with analysis stream. But that game is too creepy. You gotta stop doing that. I will see you guys later. Have a great one. Thank you, Mr. Coffee, for being here. Take care, Arsenal. Take care, bud. We'll talk later. Everybody, we'll see you for a Thursday night stream. Bye-bye.